Y'all, Jaguar Wright is back at it again, and this time she's dropping bombs that could rock the entire music industry. She's claiming that men are out here walking around undetectable, spreading viruses, and when Jaguar starts talking like that, you already know names are about to get dropped. And the list she's been throwing out isn't small. We're talking Nicki Minaj, Rihanna, Chris Brown, Justin Bieber, Drake, Mary J. Blige, Cassie, Young Miami, and more. She's painting a picture of parties in Calabasas that weren't just about champagne and music. They were traps filled with cameras, drugs, and power plays that left more than a few people compromised. But before we dive too deep, let's back up. Because for anyone who doesn't know Jaguar Wright, she's not new to this. She's been around the industry for decades, and she's earned a reputation for blowing up people's spots. Some dismiss her as messy or bitter, but you can't deny one thing. When she speaks, the blogs listen. Every time she opens her mouth, the internet catches fire. And this time, she's directing all her fire at Diddy, his so-called Freakoffs, and the celebrities who might have gotten caught in the crossfire. Jaguar describes those infamous Diddy parties as anything but glamorous. According to her, they weren't celebrations. They were setups. Imagine being invited into a mansion where cameras are hidden in every corner, champagne is flowing, drugs are on the table, and nobody leaves the same way they walked in. She claims people weren't just there to have fun. They were being recorded, compromised, and in some cases, infected. She says these freak-offs weren't about pleasure. They were about control. And then come the names. Jaguar is not shy about pointing fingers. She's brought up Nicki Minaj, Rihanna, Jennifer Lopez, Cassie, Mary J. Blige, Young Miami, even Justin Bieber. She even claimed that Mary J. Blige herself was involved in questionable encounters when she was much older, allegedly flying in Danny Boy while he was just 15 or 16 years old. That's the kind of allegation that makes people pause and wonder just how deep this really goes. Now, what really set the internet on fire was Jaguar's talk about infections. She drew a comparison to Magic Johnson, saying that unlike the rest of these so-called stars, Magic faced his HIV diagnosis head-on. He turned it into a way to build wealth in Black communities, to uplift people, and he didn't run from the truth. But Jaguar claims that too many others are running around undetectable, keeping quiet, and leaving behind a trail of broken lives. And when you put that in the context of Diddy's wild parties, people couldn't help but connect the dots. Rumors started swirling about Young Miami in particular. Jaguar hinted, and others repeated, that she allegedly picked up a virus from Diddy himself and might have spread it around. JT even came out throwing shade, suggesting her own City Girls partner had been reckless. And when the rumors got rolling, other names got pulled into the mix. Future, Stefan Diggs, Saucy Santana, Chef D. Whether any of it is true or not, it's the kind of story that spreads like wildfire. And here's where it gets even darker, because it's not just Jaguar's word against Diddy's. Real lawsuits have already painted a disturbing picture. Cassie's lawsuit laid out years of abuse, being forced into freak-offs, hooked up with male escorts while Diddy recorded everything, suffering violence so bad she ended up hospitalized, even losing her memory from the trauma. She described nights where Diddy forced his way into her home, where she wanted to end her own life just to escape. Then there's April Lampros, who detailed horrifying encounters dating back to the 90s. She said Diddy pressured her into drinking, forced himself on her when she was too unwell to fight back, and even described a night with Kim Porter, where Diddy allegedly forced ecstasy down their throats before making them hook up while he watched. And after that, he forced himself on her too. These are not light accusations. They're part of a pattern. Federal agents also found receipts of their own. When Diddy's homes were raided, reports said they uncovered over 1,000 bottles of baby oil, stockpiles of drugs, extra linens, specialized lighting, even AR-15. The indictment described freakoffs that went on for days, fueled by substances, covered up with money, and stitched together with coercion. They even claimed Diddy and his crew used IV drips to recover from the chaos, the same ones he reportedly hooked his own mother up to after wild nights. Think about that. So, when Jaguar says people may have left those freakoffs infected, it's not hard to imagine how. With that much recklessness, that much pressure, and no boundaries, it's not just possible. It almost sounds inevitable. But Jaguar doesn't stop there. She's been calling for justice, not just for Cassie, but for Kim Porter, for Justin Bieber, for Biggie and Pac, even for her own son, Japani. She's saying names like Mary J. Blige, Jennifer Lopez, Jay-Z, DJ Khaled, Rick Ross, Usher, and Stevie J should all be charged alongside Diddy. She insists they were there, they knew, and some of them allegedly participated. Now, some people hear Jaguar's rants and roll their eyes. They say she's unstable, clout-chasing, or just trying to get attention. But here's the thing. Every time she goes off, she forces people to remember the rumors they've already heard. And when you put her wild claims side by side with the lawsuits, the raids, the actual indictments, suddenly it doesn't feel like random gossip anymore. It feels like she's saying out loud what insiders have whispered for years. And that's the scariest part, because whether she's exaggerating or not, one thing is undeniable. Diddy's empire is crumbling. The lawsuits are stacking up. The federal cases are real. The raids happened. The questions about his freakoffs are no longer just whispers. And Jaguar Wright's voice, love her or hate her, is fueling a fire that's only getting hotter. So, what do we do with all of this? Maybe Jaguar really is exposing the hidden truths of Hollywood. Maybe she's just stirring the pot with no proof to back it up. But even if half of what she says is exaggerated, the core of it, that something dark has been going on in Diddy's world for decades, is already out in the open. And if the names she's throwing out really were part of it, then we're not just talking about one man's downfall. We're talking about an entire generation of artists, careers, and reputations being dragged into the mud. So now I want to hear from you. Do you think Jaguar Wright is spilling the truth about Diddy and these freakoffs? Or is she just spinning the messiest story she can to keep her name trending? Because if even a fraction of this is real, then Hollywood's darkest secrets are about to come crashing into the light. Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this conversation, it's only getting started.